Hey, what's up, blurry YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let me get us in focus. And let me get us like in the field of vision where we need to be. Okay. And let's also get, it looks like these are relatively in focus. Okay, looks like that's gonna work. Let me pull up my comment section and then we're gonna get to dirt painting. Man, I just stream way too much right now. But I forgive myself because I'm just gonna paint. People are asking me to stream more. Like, hey, can you just, like I said, I mean, it doesn't, I'm okay. We recommend that you use the stream, my stream is on okay, not as good. Well, whatever. Let's, we'll just make the best of it. And if there's any issues or whatever, I'm sure you guys will let me know, right? Anyway, so we're back to painting the rest of the Kung Fu miniatures. And I was about 50% done. Right now, I'm still fixing the eyes on some of these miniatures. Like, her eyes are bad, for lack of a better word. She's just, I don't know. She just looks like, let's see if I can actually get her. See if I can actually get her to focus. So you can see. I mean, she didn't look, she just looks like she's had a rough life, you know? She looks like, she looks like kind of like Picasso right now. But we're gonna try to fix that. And then we got this dude here, and he looks pretty cool. He's looking a lot like Roadblock from G.I. Joe, and I absolutely love that because that's kind of what I was going for there. So anyways, if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Tonight, we are back with Kung Fu miniatures from Dragon Tide, the Dragon Tide board game. All bets are off. I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you what company it is. But I'm also telling you, don't give these people any more money. Please don't. Please don't. The product is out there, though. The product is out there. So if you want these, you can get these. Why is my light pointing directly at my face? There is that too. Let's see if I can fix that. Actually, if I'm going to be more painting down this area. I should be focused down in that area. What do you think? There we go. Okay. So as long as I don't get too close to the camera, I'll be focused down in this area. So this guy here, he's kind of like the Billy Blanks guy. But I'm going to paint him. We're painting him to kind of look a little bit more like Roadblock than Billy Blanks. Because Roadblock is awesome. There we go. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Actually need this even lower, right? If we're going to be painting down in this area. So I'm working on 4 miniatures at the same time because that's how I roll. And so these are all the Kung Fu miniatures from the game Dragon Tide. And I'm just trying to finish them. I mean, I've had the game for, I want to say, almost a full year and haven't touched anything on it because I was so upset that, you know, that this game is not going to fulfill all of its Kickstarter promises. The producers ran out of money, but there's a lot of reason to believe that they took the money from the Kickstarter and kind of funneled it into fulfilling their other projects. So that's where people such as myself are upset, you know, It's not the best way to treat your backers, right? Because they had a Fairy Tale Games Kickstarter that happened earlier. They couldn't fulfill that Kickstarter, and then what they ended up doing is they ended up launching the Kickstarter for this game, and then this game funded. And the rumor is that they took some of the funding from this game, and instead of applying it to this game, they used it to continue to fulfill the previous Kickstarter. I don't know how true that is, but I do know that you know, they let the licensing lapse. There's supposed to be other things going on. Everything that that we were told from the publisher apparently is not true, and so we're not getting the rest of our pledges. So like I pledged like $100 for this game so that I could get the game and I can get all the the unlocked Kickstarter stuff and all that kind of stuff, and we're not getting it. So that is why we are a little upset about it. But yeah. But nevertheless, I am painting it, so we will at least try to enjoy it from that standpoint. And then we are planning on playing this at some point. So Dizzy and I are going to play this at some point. And I should tell you, I did try this game before at one point, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting. So I may try to enhance or house rule the game a little bit, just to kind of help it flow a little bit better. Is it sad that I'm actually, you know, that's how much effort I'm putting into a game that I don't, that kind of makes me upset on sight because of my history with it. We'll see. But yeah, so the other night we played Ghost Stories. I don't know if you guys tuned into that last night. That was super fun. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that we would win the first try, but we did a good job. You know, we did what you're really supposed to do when you're playing that game. You know, go get the Buddhas first, and then set up your kind of set up your routines, and then go kind of just go aggressively until you get to the boss. I'm not seeing any comments, so I don't know if you guys are commenting. If you're too tired to comment, that's okay too. It's been a long day. I don't know. It's been a long day for me. I don't know what kind of day it's been for you, but it's been a fairly long day for me. Spent most of the day trying to get ready for my boy's birthday parties. So that's where that went. That's where the day went for me. So you know, I always had to kind of help. You know, mom was doing most of the work here, so I had to do other stuff, like I had to run to the shop in the store, and I had to fix the vacuum cleaner, and so that's usually my job, right? Because she does the, with regards to the party planning and all that kind of stuff, she does the bulk of the lifting there, and you know, my job is do what I'm told, and then go and then fix things. That's my major function, which I actually prefer, right? It's she hates troubleshooting, she hates fixing stuff. I love that because it's fixing stuff is a little more brain intensive, but it's a little less labor intensive. So I'm all for that. Hey, what's up, Nelson? Boo, 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 boo. I was trying to do eyebrows on Brandon here, but every time I try, it's like they're too thick. It's because he has these like Neanderthal like brows that are sculpted in, and it looks kind of weird. But let's see. Let's see if I can just do. He needs something up there. He just a tiny little. I'm just gonna do some like hairline eyebrows for him. So he doesn't. Because with when you have these huge ridges above your eyes, but you don't have eyebrows, it makes it look even more unusual. You look like the bald dude from The Hills Have Eyes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that movie. Really, really awesome movie, by the way. If you're watching that, like go out and watch The Hills Have Eyes, or I don't know. It's kind of a stereotype from The Hills Have Eyes, but then like if you don't want to watch The Hills Have Eyes, you can watch Weird Science, and the part where the bikers come and crash the party. There's the bald guy, and he has this crazy like Neanderthal ridges over his eyes. And after that whole gang is like forced to retreat, he points out that he's a teacher. He's like, please, some of us don't let this out because we have reputations to maintain, or I teach nights or something. I forget what he said, but it's pretty funny. And I forgot we got Bruce Lee too. He also has kind of weird eyes right now. Was I drunk the last time I was painting these? Because some of these dudes got weird eyes, man. Look at like Bruce Lee's eyes. He looks like a lizard for some reason. Hills Have Eyes 1 and 2 are great. I never saw 2. I need to get back into watching horror flicks, but I don't like modern horror flicks. I think they got it all wrong. I like the campy B movie horror flicks. If it's gonna, especially like those, I like those like not quite made for sci-fi, but I especially like 80s horror flicks, like Phantasm, Hellraiser. I like those kind of horror flicks. I don't really like Saw. I don't really like the kind of torture porn ones. Those are a little too contrived. Um, and I really like the generic ones. The um, if it's like stupid stuff, like there was one about bats, like killer bats that just didn't make any sense at all. I love stuff like that. Saw the first Saw looked really interesting. Like that looked like that was going to be really cool, and then they just kind of franchised the hell out of that movie, and then suddenly it's not interesting anymore. Why does Bruce Lee look like a lizard? I don't understand. He's very Chow. I mean, Bruce Lee, he had some eyebrows. Like he had definitive eyebrows. There we go. He still kind of looked like a lizard. That's okay. We're gonna forgive our lizard, Bruce Lee. Okay. There we go. I love Saw. The backstory of Jigsaw the Architect is amazing to me. Yeah, I like, the concept behind Saw is cool. I don't know, couldn't really get into it. What was that other one? Oh man, I don't know. I just don't really like the mainstream horror movies. Paranormal Activity, that looks like it kind of started on a good premise, and then they just decided to make one every year, and then it sucked. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I still. Question is, should I do Sunny Skin Tone as the final highlight, or should it be Youthful Flesh? I think it should be Youthful Flesh. But I liked Critters. I liked Puppet Masters was an awesome one. Stuff like Scanners, um, even like the really weird ones like Cat People. I really like that. Hey, Octave, that Batman game you and Mark played Thursday was funny. Sorry, I had to leave. Oh, yeah, Mark ended up winning that one. Uh, Mark ended up winning that one. Once he killed Night Owl, then I was struggling to keep up. Then on the last turn, he managed to KO what's his name, Comedian, and so he ended up winning that game because the victory conditions were around holding that center objective and KOing people. And so at the end of the game, he managed to do both. I just couldn't get the Watchman to really put a hurting on anybody. I mean, I didn't kill anybody. I didn't even come close to killing anybody. The only people on Mark's team that died were the ones that died because he didn't, from the explosive collars. He didn't. I didn't. I just couldn't. I couldn't put any damage into him. Well, Watchmen. Yeah, they could use a buff, but also, um, my dice are just not friendly with Batman. Well, actually, Guild Ball too. I missed it was kind of a rough night for me and dice. I missed a four die goal on Guild Ball, which is incredibly hard to miss, but it happens. So I missed that for the game, and then in Batman, yeah, the playing the Watchmen, and they just couldn't string together any hits. I mean, I had Ozymandias, 100-point model against 50-point Katana, and I couldn't do anything to her. It was embarrassing, and it's because my die rolls are terrible. Like I'd roll, I was putting 4 attacks in too, so 4 attacks with reinforced gloves. I think by the end of the game, I fought her for like two or 3 rounds, and only managed to do, I think at the maximum I managed to do was like 4 stun on her. The other thing too is like Mark's dice were stupidly hot, so he kept, he was able to keep putting damage into me off of like incredible stuff. No, Ozzy doesn't have handy. Ozzy has what's it called? I forget what he has. Yeah, I forgot what he has, but it was sad. Like I couldn't buy hits. It was really pretty embarrassing. There we go. That's starting to look a little more like Bruce Lee, right? But yeah, it was a good game. It's just, one of the problems, one of the blessings and the curses I'm starting to see with second edition Batman is pretty damn balance with regards to the core rules. Like, it's very hard with standardized movement and the way sewers work and all this other stuff. It's a lot harder to be slippery in second edition Batman. It's very hard to be slippery. Like, you can get away, but and Mark plays he pretty much plays for brute force. That's all he's looking to do, is like engage you and kill you. So honestly, like, if I were to build a more and this is the other thing that Batman doesn't quite do very well, unless you're playing Batman, actually, like the actual Batman, is it's very hard to play like it's very hard to play like a counterattack style list outside of Batman. Like, you could play Batfleck and do it. You could play, there's a couple of the different Batman that work good for counterattacking. And then you also have like Batman sidekicks like Nightwing and that kind of stuff, Jason Todd. Those do well for counterattack style lists. And against Mark, that's all you have to play, because Mark he's just going to go make a beeline straight for you. He's going to just try to shoot you. He's going to try to fight you. He almost does not care about objectives. And, he lost early against me. He would lose pretty regularly, mainly because he just didn't care about objectives. So he was trying to outscore me on kills. I would outscore on objectives, and then basically just try to survive till the end of the game. And that's kind of how we played it. In second edition, you can't, it's harder to do that. People can get to you, people can draw a bead to you. And then, in his case, it was some really, really good dice rolling too. That was, and combined with my really, really bad dice rolling. But he deserves Handy and Sharp. Yeah, well, Ozzy is 100 points. My issue with like Ozzy is he's 100 points, and just like Catman's also 100 points. Neither one of them have Handy. So whereas Strix is 61 points. She's 61 points. She has Handy and Sharp. Like, I'm not really sure how that's balanced. I don't understand what, Strix has, and Strix may only have Endurance 8, but she also has Reanimated Owl. Strix is objectively better, and I realize I'm picking one of the best models in the game. Like, point for point, if I had 61 points to spend and I could take any model I want in the game, there's no question that's where my money would be, is I would go straight for Strix, because Handy and Sharp, she's got rapid fire, she's got climbing claws, she's got acrobat. Like, there's the only deficit Strix has is willpower 6. That's it. That's all. And willpower 6 on a henchman is still amazing. Let's not forget, we're talking about a henchman. We're not talking about a free agent or a sidekick or anything like that. And she can regularly dispatch free agents, sidekicks. She's taken, again, she took out Arrow. Oh, no, that was a different talent. But yeah, she's ridiculous. She's stupidly good. And then you have 100-point models. Like, I think the 100, with the exception of possibly Deathstroke and Owlman, those free agents that run you into the 100+ points, Black Manta, Catman, they're not very good. They're just not. They're not really worth their points. So, that's. Although, even though I love playing Catman and I love to brag about shit that Catman does, but full disclosure, he's really not that good. He really isn't. I just love Catman. But he's 100 points. Like, if you were talking to a competitive player about Catman, they'd just laugh in your face and they say that is a complete waste of points. For 100, but they might agree that he's a decent Secret Six leader, because now you're talking about 100 points, but now you're talking about an endurance 10, defense 5 guy. Okay, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty damn good. Um, so in that instance, yes, right? In that instance, you're like, okay, yeah, Catman is good, but Catman is a free agent. Like if you're gonna take Catman as a free agent in say League of Shadows, why? If you're gonna take him as a, what's the design on this dude's shirt? I cannot make out what that is. It's like a bug or something. It doesn't really matter. I'll paint it. I'll paint it white or something. But yeah, if you're going to take Catman as a free agent in, like name any standard crew, right? Two-Face, Penguin, uh, Black Mask, 100-point free agent. They're going to have so many better options for cheaper, right? Because Catman doesn't, other than tanking melee, what does he honestly do? He tanks melee. You can give him tracking. He can, you can Coward's Reward. He's got the Catarangs. No one really cares about those. But what does he honestly do? His best job, his best use is to sit in someone's face that's trying to melee to him to death, and roll on his defense 5, and then put up Coward's Reward so that that person can't get away. He's essentially a tar pit, right? But a very expensive tar pit, 100-point tar pit. That's kind of ridiculous. Like nobody needs to. You don't need to pay that much for a tar pit. He's a super troll. He is a super troll. But do you see my point? Like he like the stuff he does, I take a 40-point animated Harley any day of the week. I would take a 76-point sweat shots against him any day of the week. Rick Flag. Rick Flag's an amazing sidekick. Take him any day of the week. Catman just doesn't have. He just, for 100 points, and you don't really get a well-defined role out of him other than tar pit. The one role you could say he does, you're like, well, do you really need that? You know what I mean? Do you really need a tar pit? And maybe in second edition, maybe you do, because like I said, it's like, it is like I was saying, second edition is a little more head-on collision style. Like you are going to be able to make contact with your opponents. So even the guys that are like heavily reliant on Bat Claw, they can't get away indefinitely. So there's that too. Yes, sir, I see your point, but the way you play it makes me hate him. Yeah, I try to get the most out of Catman. Like I try at the start of each game, I try to decide, okay, what is Catman gonna do? And then what's he gonna do when that fails? That's it. That's usually how I approach Catman. Like, what's he gonna do? And then what's he gonna do when what he was supposed to do fails? Because it's going to. It's going to fail. Catman is he's going to get to a point in the game where the opponent's like, I should try to take this guy out because it's bugging me. And I guess maybe that's part of the role too. Is, the one thing I will say is when people get mad at Catman and they try to come after him, they typically have to invest a lot to kill him. And so by that time, if they're wasting 2-3 activations a turn for 2 turns to kill Catman, then Catman is doing his job, right? Catman is, then you're like, okay, that was worth 100 rep because he just took 2 or 3 models off the board for a few turns so that I could go do what I need to do. So, yeah. I don't know. I still really love Catman. I'm still gonna field him. I mean, the best setup I ever had with Catman was I have that prisoner who has 2 smoke grenades, and I threw a smoke grenade at oh man, I think it was Robin or something, or it had somebody in it, and Catman got in there and tried to beat someone up but couldn't finish him. I think it was AK Red Hood. Catman tried to get in there with AK Red Hood, and having all the advantages in the world, like you're talking about, this is the single best possible scenario you could have Catman in, and I wasn't able to finish him. I did eventually finish him, but it took like a turn or so later, and I had to invest a little bit more to take him out. Let's see. It takes me 2 or 3 models, if not a 100-point model, to chase him. It's a total distraction, and the way you play him, I can't ignore him either. Oh, I love Catman. Catman is amazing. But he's, like I said, you for the roles that you end up using him in, there's typically cheaper or better options for it. Bruce Lee's looking pretty good here. He's looking pretty cool. I'm going to try, this may be ill-advised, but I'm going to try a skin wash ink. And I want to see how this looks. This could backfire miserably. Where'd it go? Sepia might be good. That might be a good ink to try, actually, as opposed to Flesh Wash, because he is Asian. Those models are looking very, very good. Thank you, sir. You seem to be the only one talking amongst my my 4 viewers. I don't know. Maybe everybody's just tired. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in. You don't have to say anything. It's all good. It is very late at night, so do what you gotta do. I get it. All right, so we're gonna try a little sepia tone here. And all I'm really trying to do is give Mr. Lee here a little more muscle definition. Because I mean, he looks cool, but I don't know. I'm all about exaggerating a little bit more. So let's see. So we'll start with, so I'm just gonna paint right here into basically into the crevices. And we're just gonna refine the buffness. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Feel free to write it in the comments. This might be a fun one. If this turns out to be a good game, Nelson, I can bring it with me one night and we can spend an evening playing through this game just to get our little board game fix in. But it's hard to do that because it's like, this is my one day at night a week. We should be playing miniature games. We should be playing Batman. We should be playing Guild Ball. But, you know, maybe at some point we get a little burned out. We're feeling a little burned out and we want to just kind of take a little break. This might be something we can do. That's actually, that sepia is looking pretty good. Yeah, and Mansions, yeah, because Mansions of Madness is ready to go, so we can play that whenever. I have half a mind to pick up the Dark Souls box and paint up a set of Dark Souls. That seems like a fairly involved board game. Like I watched Beasts of War playing that, and don't get me wrong, I like super involved board games. It might be fun with our group too. You know, everyone gets a character, and we have to try to coordinate to take down bosses and the like. Yeah, that's looking pretty damn good now. Watch out! I'm just gonna make the sounds. Watch out! Yeah, Bruce Lee's pretty awesome. Okay, let us. Where I should have some Iraqi sand or something up here. I'm gonna paint. This is actually a wooden. He's actually on a wooden base that has like the that has all the symbols carved into it, or actually kind of stamped over the wood. I'm not really sure how that works, but we're gonna make it work. Yeah, I don't really know. It's kind of odd. So I guess I have to paint all these, like, all the planks in between all of this. Like, even here at the center of the yin yang, the white, I guess. Whoa. The white is actually like wood plank. It could be brick, but I think it's wood. I think it's wood plank. So I'm gonna paint all this in, let that dry, and then we'll paint, then we'll wash it because it's wood, and then we'll paint all the dark characters over it. Right, because this is like even down here, that would be wood. Man, I'm kind of bummed. I wanted to see that Street Fighter tournament at CQ today. That would have been interesting. It's too busy though. But that's okay. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting, what you should be painting. Tonight's task is Dragon Tides, which we will be playing on this channel at some point. Soon, I would think. Yeah, some point soon, because it should be done any time now. Okay. So Iraqi sand is a nice, like if you're gonna do kind of a weathered wood plank base, I like to start with Iraqi sand and then you can wash it a bunch of different ways depending on what you want it to do. Okay. Let's get, doesn't look too bad. I forget if I think I did do some ink glazes on him to get him, because he's looking pretty good. I don't think I did any on her. So let's do that. And I'm actually going to mix blue and black ink because I kind of want like a navy ink. Because she's kind of in a cop outfit. Do you remember, can you guys tell me if Roadblock's orange, if his orange tank top had camo on it or not? I don't recall. Definitely need another coat on that. All right, so let's test this out on well, looks like Brandon actually kind of has. Let's just test it out on Brandon. That does look like the right blue for a cop outfit. That's nice. Yeah, that's actually what we want. Although unfortunately, I think he's the most boring miniature in this whole set. Now, if they did Brandon Lee, the Crow miniature, which there's no way they could have gotten the licensing for that, but how freaking cool would that be? Then a lot of people would want this just for the Crow miniature, because you'd be getting a Bruce Lee miniature and a Crow miniature, not to mention all the other cool miniatures you get, like Ip Man and Bolo and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that worked out quite nice. It's exactly what I wanted that to look like. Good. Yeah, he looks way better now. Still have to highlight his hair a little bit, but we'll use the same blue here on Cynthia Rothrock. I'm somewhat disappointed in this miniature. I love the pose of the miniature, but again, it's that the sculpt of her face is kind of bugging me. Her face. So you can see I was fairly haphazard putting it on the pants because the pants I do want to look navy. The jacket, a little less so. I want the jacket to be a little bit brighter. So I'm going to kind of have to really move. I'm going to put the ink glaze down, but I'm going to put a lot less down, and I'm going to keep moving it. See that? Hope you do. But with all the pockets and stuff on this, I assume this is like a police jacket she's got on. With all the pockets and wrinkles and all that kind of stuff. Better off just basically taking an ink glaze and letting it do its thing. Super quiet tonight, guys. I guess you guys may be too tired to like trying to goad me into a ramble or a rant, possibly. Okay, so there's that. Let's do another layer of orange on roadblock here. Wow, this is a really watery orange. I may actually have to mix it with another color to get it to cover. Sometimes you can mix orange with a pale brown and you'll get a better covering orange out of it. That's not a very good. Hello, Dizzy Angel Demon. What's up? I was going to ask you, do you like being called Dizzy, or should I call you by your real name? Because I know on your stream you go, hey, what's up, Playpan? And you say, hey, what's up, Octave? And I don't know. Do you prefer to be called Dizzy or your real name? I don't know. Be right back. Connection issues. Cool. Okay. Well, that orange is looking not good. We will fix it by adding. No. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Right. We're going to add heavy orange to clear orange. And that should give me the kind of opacity that I need. Hopefully. Ooh, that heavy orange is kind of chalky. But I think, and it's a little more pale, but that's fine. I think it will, yeah, it will hide the way we, ugh. Maybe not. Yeah, that clear orange is just so shiny. So let's take it up with, let's go with this heavy orange. Get it to this kind of sickly, here, it's part of the plan, guys. We're gonna get it to this like sickly color, and then we'll tone the entire model down. How about that? That's the plan, right? My plans always work. I don't know why you guys would doubt me. Actually, my plans don't always work. He does look cool, though. My plans don't always work, but he does look cool. Okay. Let's Google a little picture of roadblock. Make sure I'm not like way off here. Let's type in G.I. Joe roadblock. And I'm sure we're going to see a bunch of pictures of The Rock, but that's okay. Oh, I have it totally backwards. Roadblock has orange pants and he has a camo tank top. So I guess I'm painting Block Road. I don't know why I remembered Roadblock this way. It just we're just gonna go with it, guys. He's got an orange vest. Okay, he could be a Caltrans worker. We don't know. Hey, welcome back, Dizzy. He's Block Road. Okay, he's he's alternate art. Okay, it's camo paints are totally military. Yeah, I mean he's yeah. It'll work. It'll work. Can you hear the confidence in my voice? This is so gonna work, you guys. You don't even. Block Road is his name, okay? We've established that Block Road is like Roadblock's brother, or he's like Bizarro Roadblock. He might, you know, he's from the team. He's from the other version of G.I. Joe. Super Best Gun or something like that. He's from Orange Pants Alternate Reality Roadblock. That's right. Hey, what's up, Luchesi, man? Where you been, man? Long time. Hope you're doing all right. Thank you for joining the stream and talking about Block Road. Everybody needs to know about Block Road and just how he was part of the squad. Like, he was down. He was Yo Joe. He was all about it. I'm gonna paint in his knee pad. I don't know why he has only one knee pad, but that's how Block Road rolls. Okay, it's true. Orange pants are what inmates would wear, but maybe that was the point. I mean, the Roadblock character is a little suspect, right? Because he's got orange pants on. He's like the cook, and then he's like the security stop guy. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's done some shit. Who knows? Maybe he's on the Joes. He's like part of a work release program. I don't know. Is that bad? Are we talking about bad things right now? I don't know. Lurking when I can. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. I still like you, Block Road. Don't worry, man. I believe in you. We won't take this ridicule from people who have good points. Oh, so yeah, I asked Diz a question. The question was, do you prefer to be called Dizzy, or do you want to be addressed by your real name? Because you usually greet me by both, which is kind of cool when I'm lurking your feed. She was painting the Stilt Town Zombies, which always, I don't know, for whatever reason, every time we say Stilt Town Zombies, I think of that song, the Camptown ladies. And I think of like the Stilt Town Zombies sing this song, doo-dah. I don't know why I think of that. And then obviously I think of Blazing Saddles, because you got to think of Blazing Saddles. Look at the crazy sheen on his tank top. Block Road has seen some stuff, man. It's that bright orange. I need to throw it out. I don't know. It's like pure resin, and it's super high sheen, and it looks kind of weird. But I'll actually dull it down. Because that's crazy high sheen. It's like inappropriate. Inappropriate sheen. Whoa. Well, I'll go Block Road. That's how he rolls, man. Block Road's got it rough. You don't know his life. These minis are freaking cool, and it's upsetting me. It's making me mad. It's making me physically upset that I have to like these things, and you guys have to watch me paint them, and you're like, damn, I want to go buy them, but he also said that this company were dicks, so I don't know. Yeah, you can use him as a Bane henchman. He can be what's his name, Dallas. He does look like Dallas without the gun. He's like, if Dallas is fighting Catwoman and Catwoman pulls off that disarm, then you just switch to this model, and and suitably he's running away. He's like, my assault weapon, and then he just runs because he lost his assault rifle. Because I would do that too. Like my whole basis of bravery in Batman. Like if I was going to go into combat in Gotham like that, and I had an assault weapon, that would be the only reason why I would be going into combat. And then the minute Catwoman came by and took it away, I'd run. This is all. I thought all this through. Like I knew exactly how I would handle myself in a combat situation in Gotham. Either's fine, whatever you prefer. Okay. Sounds good. I'll probably like go back and forth. And that would be good too, because that'll keep people off the trail, because you'll know that when you're being addressed, and other people will sort of know, kind of know. Okay, they're looking pretty good. Look at Bruce. It is like a finger pointing to the moon. I've got that stuck in my head too. The theme song to Enter the Dragon, when you're riding on the little junkers, trying to get on that boat, when he practices the art of fighting without fighting. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory. I'm trying to get his accent down. Got to get, because we're only, when we play Dragon Tides, I'm only going to be doing the voices for the characters. So I got to work on I got to have a Dolph Lundgren voice. I got to have a Bruce Lee voice. Brandon Lee has a fairly kind of standard voice. I don't even remember like if he ever did like a weird voice. I don't think so. Yeah. Dude, what? This makes me so mad. Look, man. Look at that. That is freaking cool. Why do I have to like, why do I have to like this? Anyway, let's make, oh, shoot. I got to start. So I'm going to do that. So Nelson's very familiar with this, like, the like flagstone pattern I do. I'm going to do it on him so that he's actually going to be virtually indistinguishable from a Batman miniature. Because you're going to be like, we could use him as just a regular cop. He could be Agent Ron. We don't know. There's all kinds of stuff we could be this dude. Oh, shoot. Yeah. So so earlier the question was asked to me, like, what am I going to paint after these? I don't know. I have a bunch of cool stuff that I want to paint. I know I have a commission coming in. I have a couple commissions coming in. So I'm trying to just do like more one-off stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not going to like crack open my Wrath of Kings army and start painting that. Although, again, I wouldn't be totally opposed to it. But I'm going to try to just stick to kind of one-off projects for a bit. So if you guys do any painting, Dizzy Angel Demon, she's hosting Orktober on her site. So she's trying to get people to paint orcs during the month of Orktober, and she's going to be setting up some sort of community group around that. It could be a Facebook group. It could be on her website. I don't think we were clear on that or like where that's going to be. But either way, that's going to be a thing is what I'm trying to say. And so if you want to participate, I'll share information on that as soon as we get it. And the idea is that we're going to paint orcs in Orktober, which is cool. My only issue is I don't have any orcs. Like I don't have any true orcs. I don't have any identified orcs. I have things that you could argue are orcs or at least look like orcs. So I'm probably going to be doing stuff like that. I'm probably going to be doing more, okay, well, that's not quite an orc, but it kind of does look like one. So I'll be doing stuff like that for the challenge. And then there's also Spooky Toberfest, which is a Warboss Tay thing that he does in the month of October. You're supposed to paint something kind of spooky. Dizzy and I are both painting that Beatrix the Witch miniature for Super Dungeon Explorer. So that'll be cool. But I also have, oh my gosh, I also have another surprise there. Not Orkvember. I have another miniature that I've been keeping for some time, like just waiting for the right kind of occasion to paint it. And I think this may be such an occasion. So I'm really, let's see if I can, I'm just hyping this shit up, but let's see if I can actually break it out and paint it, because it'd be kind of dope. But anyways, Orktoberfest, and I'll be painting, I guess, I'll call them orc-like things. I'll be painting orc-like miniatures for Orktoberfest. And then there's, and then Spooky Toberfest. Kind of cool to be in this spot right now where, like, I'm waiting on stuff to come in, but right now I can just like paint other projects. Like this project had been sitting around for a very long time. But again, it was part of that though is because I was conflicted. Like I wasn't sure that I should be painting it, and then even if I did paint it, should I actually be sharing it on my streams? Does this company actually deserve some free publicity of me painting it and saying, oh, look at how cool these miniatures are? Because they don't. They don't actually deserve that. But I mean, the miniatures do look cool. The game, I think, is at least remotely entertaining. But we're gonna, like I said, I think I mentioned that we may house rule a little bit of it just to keep it flowing a little bit better. And then I'll be adding a couple other like kind of personal touches to it to make it more like a thing. Thanks for mentioning Orktober. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So we'll be doing that at some point. I think we may need a third player for this game because it's just a little more intensive for one person to, or two people to play. So we probably want a third player. And I'll probably be playing like console type, I'll probably be playing the AI thugs. So there's that. And speaking of AI thugs, there was, I don't know how many of you guys are following the Super Dungeon Explorer Kickstarter, the Legend stuff. A bunch of updates came out today for SDE, the SDE Kickstarter in particular. There was a lot of apologizing from Ninja Division on how late they are with the Kickstarter. And then we kind of got this, like really like frank recollection of what has happened and how that has affected how late they are on this particular Kickstarter. And so I listened to it. I'm sorry, I read it, and it's again very truthful, very vulnerable. Hey, we're working on the SDE Legends rules, and then I got really sick. I had to be hospitalized. Then we brought in another, but I wasn't happy with the rules, and then we brought in another designer, and then and the other designer came in, and suddenly the two games started to diverge to such a degree that you couldn't just rightly pack an extra set of cards in the box and call them two different games. And so I'm reading this and going, okay, I get it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like real life happens, right? I'm the first person to tell you that. Like, yeah, real life happens. That's sad. That's shitty or whatever. You have to move. You have to get surgery. You have to be in the hospital, right? I'm setting you up because I'm gonna play dick here for a minute. So, so all that happens. I'm not saying any of that is your fault. But so you're going to get a pass, and you're going to be a little over a year late on your Kickstarter. That said, here's my but. Okay, the exception, the part that's kind of freaking me out, that I don't think is freaking anybody else out, any of the other backers, even the backers who are upset about the crazy delay. The part that is freaking me out is this, hey, we brought in another designer, and what a breath of fresh air that was. And he's starting to work on the game, and then it's starting to become clear that we can't just pack Legends in with an extra set of cards and call it two different games. That greatly concerns me. That greatly concerns me. And the reason why is because that is how Forgotten King is packed. And I get that a lot of people, when Forgotten King launched, a lot of people didn't understand Forgotten King. Like, they didn't understand how to run arcade mode. There's still, I run into people all the time that like, oh, you're a Ninja Core. Can you teach me arcade mode? Because that was one of the main reasons why I got into Forgotten King. And I'm like, yeah, it's the concepts are a little weird, but once you get it, you get it, and then you realize it's a super fun game, right? Just like the one that we played the other night. We played Forgotten King arcade mode. Most people, like even Dizzy, was like, I didn't even realize that was a thing, that arcade mode was a thing, that there's a difference between arcade mode and classic mode. And there were pretty big differences between them. But you could still put them in the same box. You could still put you can still put Forgotten King arcade mode and classic mode in the same box. But what you can't do, apparently, with the new guy coming in, and I have experience playing some of the games that this person has changed or altered, and my experiences haven't been great. I mean, he's a good game designer, but I think he and I, like, philosophically, we're looking at games, don't see eye to eye. So I'm not saying he's a bad designer, because he's not. He's a successful designer. He has implemented changes to games that are still popular, that there's still a following for. So I can't say, oh, well, he ruined this game objectively. I can say it subjectively. Yeah, subjectively, he ruined this game that I liked. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge red flag to me, that suddenly the games are so incompatible that you have to package them as separate games. that's a huge red flag, right? Why does SDE have to be two totally separate games? I understand that. Oh gosh, I understand that arcade mode and classic mode really are different animals. I get that, but if you stripped it down so far that you can't use common components between the two games, then I'm freaked out. That's what I'm freaked out about. Okay, be a year late. That's fine. You know, have have your have your health issues. It's again, it's real life. We're going to give you a pass there. But this whole, oh well, we realized that we can't even package two versions of what was supposed to be a single game in a single package. That scares me. And again, it coincides with, oh well, we brought in a new designer, and I know that this particular designer comes in and he likes to basically just overwrite everything that has come before. And so there's that. And then there's also, I mean, if you watch the game of Forgotten King that we played the other night, there's actually quite a nice flow to that game, and it can be played by casual people, but there's also a fair bit of strategizing that happens. There's a fair bit of uh, strategy and tactics involved, and it doesn't have to be this stupidly overthought out thing. That's the good games, in my opinion, can do that. Like the good games are like, okay, they give you enough game to where the decisions that you're making are good, are like fun decisions to make. And I don't really have a good way of explaining that, other than, there are good, in my opinion, there are decisions that you make while you're playing a game that are fun. And then there are other types of decisions that you make during a game that, may not necessarily be fun. But there, again, it's subjective, right? Perfect example of this is when you're talking miniature games. Some people love theory crafting and list building, and they'll sit there. I have friends that will sit there all day. I'm talking about you, Jose, if you're watching. That will sit there and spend the better part of a day tweaking out lists, looking for things to exploit, looking for, this is going to be the best and here's why, and they'll do it all day long. And I just don't find that as fun as other people. Like, I don't find list building and theory crafting as fun as, the kinds of decisions I want to make are, let me try to fit these really cool models together in a list. Like, if I'm going to do list building, I'm going to, I want to have some function in there, but ultimately I'm like, okay, I want this girl who's pulling her own hair, and I want Block Road in that list, and we're going to figure out how to put them both in there. And it may or may not work, but that's okay. I get to do Block Road quotes all day while we're playing. Stay in drugs, don't do school. I like that there are different game modes using the same components, and arcade mode rocks. Yeah, arcade mode is super fun. And, most of the people I run into, unless they really kind of spent the time in the game, most of the people I run into really only recognize classic mode for SDE. And don't get me wrong, classic mode with the power meter, I absolutely loved. I loved the power meter for classic mode because it allowed the console to kind of weave and pace the game however you want. Like, I got so good at that I could end a game of Super Dungeon Explorer almost any way I wanted to. I could either wipe the party or I could end it super fast for me. But a lot of people didn't like the power meter, because it's like, oh, here's another thing that you need to move around while you're trying to enjoy your game. And I get that. But when you do understand what the power meter does, then you understand that it has a role, and that I forgot. It does things. That's all I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say, it does things. But yeah, like why should that be? The only thing I can think of as to why it might be two separate packages is that the rules for one or both are so extensive that you have to have two totally different sets of tokens, that you have to have two different sets of loot and treasure, that you have to have a 30-page rule book for both. That's super troubling, man. That is super troubling. For me anyways. Like what I don't know. Yeah. Arcade mode was beautiful. It wasn't perfect, okay? Arcade mode was weird, but I mean, who is really complaining about arcade mode? If you don't like arcade mode, you play classic mode. And I think the only legitimate complaint about arcade mode is that the concepts are a little bit difficult to understand. That's all. That's the only legitimate, in my opinion. Again, in my opinion, that is the only legitimate criticism that you can levy against arcade mode, because once you do get those concepts, and you do, like, if you watch a game of arcade mode that's being played by people who understand how to play arcade mode, then you do understand that, like, you can. At least I think that most people are going to go, "Wow, no, that's a fun game." And the other thing that's worrying there, if they're taking it that seriously, then I think in some way they're kind of in some way, and you feel free to disagree with me, but I feel like in some way they're kind of going against the whole spirit of SDE. SDE is a video game. It's a video game dungeon crawler. And sometimes we forget that. It is a chibi video game dungeon crawler. It is not a serious thing. There's not, there's a war for Crystallia or whatever you want to call it, but it's being played on with joysticks in an arcade in some fictional universe. Okay? And so when you take the rules for this game ridiculously seriously, so much that you have to have completely different components packaged in, I think you're missing the point. And I don't think the average SDE player really wants like some stupidly over serious experience, right? There's so many other games to go play if you want that. Go play Descent. Go play Swords and Sorcery, which I want to do. Go play. There's so many other games that are cooperative or semi-cooperative dungeon crawlers that do give you a serious, intensive experience. SDE is let's pick the coolest looking chibi minis we can find. Let's roll a bunch of dice. Let's try to just step on some monsters. That's it, man. That's all SDE is. And the people playing SDE, that's what their expectation is. So if it becomes like, oh, this is going to be Malifaux second edition, and we want to have organized play. We want to have tournaments. Not everything has to be freaking tournament, guys. Not everything has to be. Oh, you know what else? We play a tournament, guys. Yeah. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take the chibi lighthearted arcade game where you run around and just step on mobs. No, tournaments. They already have a tournament SDE. It's called Arena, by the way. And I've hosted an arena tournament. It's actually, arena is actually fun. That's a fun tournament because usually done with an arena tournament in like 3 or 4 hours, which is awesome. The shortest tournament I've ever hosted was karate fight. I hosted a karate fight tournament. If you've never played karate fight, go play karate fight. Like well, it's like if you can find it for like $10 or less, go out and buy karate fight. Then find like 3 friends that are in the mood for something stupid, and then play karate fight. Karate fight is stupidly fun. First time I played it, I thought it was the biggest waste of time. I absolutely hated it. I was questioning my life and decisions I've made in my life. I'll show you. You know what? Let's hold on. Before we get into all this stuff, let's finish painting all the black on these. I still have to. Bruce Lee still has a bunch of stuff that I need to do on his base, but like you can see, we're coming along pretty well here. So let me paint these, and we can talk karate fight. We're gonna talk about some other hilarious Ninja Division games that I happen to really like. And I didn't think and in fact, the first time I played them, I didn't like these games. But now I really like these games. They're super fun. And some of my experience with these games has been a lot different than I expected. So I'm speaking specifically about the Takahashi University games. Okay, and so Takahashi University itself is not a game for Ninja Division, but it is a world setting. Okay, you might it might even be that Super Dungeon Explorer is a video game that the girls at Takahashi University play. It's also very likely, actually, it's provable that the Relic Knights in the Relic Knights universe, the video game Super Dungeon Explorer exists. Oh, hey, what's up, Cheddar Monkey? So there's you know, for the Ninja Division game universes, we know that Super Dungeon Explorer is a video game. We know that Takahashi University is a world setting, and we know that Relic Knights is a world setting. And if you look at the game boards and that kind of stuff for like Relic Knights and SDE, you'll see references to the arcade games. Some of the original SDE tiles had stand-up arcade consoles, and if you look hard enough, you can find them on almost everything. Additionally, you can look at if you look at the game mat for the official game mat for Relic Knights, it actually has on that mat, there actually is an SDE stand-up arcade game, like an arcade cabinet for SDE, and it's really cool. Like when you see that, you're like, oh wow, you know, that's a Super Dungeon game. Love the brickwork on the base. Thanks, man. But yeah, so Takahashi University is an all-girls university. They made a set of miniatures for Takahashi University, which are my absolute favorite. Absolutely love those minis, and I need to paint more of them. I think I have a couple. I keep some on standby because it's like, okay, well, when I'm bored, I'll paint some more. My favorites are I really like Teacher's Helper and Band for some reason. I like that the band miniature. But anyways, in terms of games, Takahashi University has 2 games, and I didn't think they would were very good games at first, but now I love them, right? So one of those games is Tentacle Bento, which is a very controversial game when it came out. It's no matter how you feel about the game, there is some hentai implication in it. Okay, maybe not hentai, maybe ecchi. Ecchi, you could argue, yeah, it's a little bit of ecchi to it, right? Because it essentially, it's kind of like a rummy style game. You collect different girls and then you play them as captures and that kind of thing. And so you have you know you have your own captures and your opponents have their captures, and you start to play cards against them. And then this is probably the absolutely worst description of Tentacle Bento, but anyway, it just seemed when I first saw it, it seemed a little contrived. I was like, this game looks kind of dumb. I'm actually a little embarrassed because it's a little too on the nose for me. Whatever, right? But started playing the game. Like, I got a copy of it because there was a sale, like a bundle. Like, you get Tentacle Bento and you'll get like 4 of these Takahashi minis. And I wanted the minis, so I'm like, okay, I'll do that, and I'll get the Tentacle Bento, and probably never played it. And for sure, for like the first like 6 to 8 months, never touched the game. I just, got the package, broke out the minis, painted the minis, enjoyed the minis, and never really touched the game. And games sit around this place for a while. Nothing wrong with a little ecchi harem fantasy now and again. Yeah. So the game sat around for a while, and because I watched the play, like the how to play videos, and those looked even worse. Like, I watched the people laughing about because of the rich text on the flavor text on the girls are just, they're freaking hilarious. They're hilarious, but then when you see somebody else reading them, you kind of feel embarrassed for yourself and that person, right? But anyway, so I saw the video and then I didn't want to play it even more. But then somebody, a friend of mine was like, no, check it out. It's like one of my favorite games. I absolutely love it. So I was like, okay, why not? So I played a game of it, and sure enough, I loved it. I loved that game. It's one of my favorite. It remains one of my favorite Soda Pop Ninja Division games of all time. And it's interesting too because, there's an interesting backstory to the game. They had the game on Kickstarter originally, and I guess somebody from, Kotaku or whatever was deeply offended by it. So they wrote an article, and then, they petitioned Kickstarter to take it down. And sure enough, Kickstarter took it down off of this person writing an article, like a smear campaign, like, rape jokes aren't funny, you guys, that kind of thing. And so they took it off Kickstarter, and at the time it wasn't Ninja Division, it was Soda Pop Miniatures, and the owner director was like, you know what, F that, we're still launching this game. So then kicked off of Kickstarter, they then funded the game privately. Like, they crowdfunded the game on their own, and it was wildly successful, to the point where it's hard to find copies of the game these days. Like, they will come to they used to go to the to conventions. Well, they still do. They go to conventions with Tentacle Bento, and without fail, it sells out every single time. It's wild. like I've worked booths with these guys, and people would show up and play Tentacle Bento, and you teach them, you teach people the games, and you teach them a couple of rounds of Tentacle Bento, and they absolutely love it. We've even had people that were like offended initially when you tell them, oh no, you're a space alien, you make it down to a university and you're capturing girls, right? So yeah, the premise, yeah, I can totally get why you might be offended by it. But when you start playing it and you realize, okay, this whole thing is a bit of a joke, it's like one long running joke, but it's actually a fun game, then you get really into it. And it's been my experience that this game is probably the most, in terms of like, in terms of gender, it's like a really, the fans of the game are almost equally female to male. You know what I mean? There was like, oh well, girls will be offended by this. It's not the girls that get offended by this game. It's the guys. Like even I was offended by this game when it first came out, but the girls are like, nah, play this. It's super fun, and it's hilarious. The artwork is awesome. The chicks are hot on it, and they're super funny. And so I added it to the repertoire, and and now people play it all the time. Like it's like one of the most popular games I break out. Now, inevitably, somebody gets offended. And again, it's like 90% of the time, it's like some dude. Like, and my joke is, it's like some dude that's like, he's like clutching at pearls, and he has to faint on a couch. It's just way too much. it's just way too intense for these guys. Is it like Tanto Cuore, which is like Dominion but with mains? It's kind of like Tanto, I guess. No, it's not. It's not like Tanto Cuore. It's the only similarity it has with Tanto Cuore is that it has that anime. I'm gonna head over here. So if my mic sounds terrible, I apologize. I'm gonna try to dig up the two games I want to show you guys for no good reason. But like strained my back today too. Like really feeling this old man stuff. All right, let's see. Is it in here? No. Wait. Karate Fight is in here. I'll show you guys Karate Fight. Where's my Tentacle Bento? Oh man, I'll be super sad if I can't find my Tentacle Bento. Where would I have stuck it? Probably stuck it in one of my gaming bags. My Paint Master is aging. Dude, I don't know what I did today. Oh, I was working on the stupid lighting in this room, and I was like hunched over, and I forget what happened. But anyway, so let me show you the other game. So there's Tentacle Bento, which is, again, super fun game. We've converted many people to playing the game. And yeah, the premise, it's like every time I have to explain the scenario, like the premise of the game to people, like I still have that, like, okay, it's just going to sound bad, you guys. It's just, the premise of the game is just going to sound kind of bad. But yeah, oh yeah, you like, oh man, this is the Ninja Karate Fight. I know I have a classic Karate Fight. All right, I need to show you guys the classic Karate Fight. Ninja Karate Fight is like, this is like the PG version of Karate Fight. Like if you're gonna play like classic Karate Fight, I'm pretty sure I got it. Oh man, telling you, I'm old and just creaking and aching. I know I got classic Karate Fight here. I know I got it here. There it is. It's way at the bottom of this thing. Way at the bottom of this. Here it is. I know I have to make those crappy sounds too when I do this. Ooh, what's this? That's fun. All right. So they did eventually make a PG version of the game. But here's the Takahashi. Gosh, it's like dusty. Here's like the Takahashi University version of Karate Fight. So you can see, okay, you kind of know what you're getting into, right? And this game is dumb and fun and hilarious. And Dizzy, we would play this, but you do physically need to be there to play this particular game. And Tentacle Bento, because you have a hand of cards that you're not showing other people. But anyway, oh wow, have I never cracked this one? Oh, I haven't even. This totally virgin. Ha! Get it? Virgin. This is a totally virgin package. Yeah, but anyways, it's basically like a snip snap snorm, like a slap type. You throw the card down, like chump, chop, and block, and kick, and punch, and that kind of stuff. And they're fight moves, and it's cool. And the fights will reverse, and all this other kind of stuff. And it tests your reflexes and other things. But this is like a normal game. A normal 4-player game of Karate Fight will last you about 15 minutes. It's about 10 or 15 minutes for a full game of Karate Fight, maybe less. And I ran a tournament for Karate Fight, which is hilarious. And the tournament was over in 45 minutes. Like you could play, and I think I had like 15 or 16 people, and we were done in 30 minutes. So I was like, that is the best tournament ever. And because it's Karate Fight, what do you get for winning Karate Fight? You get a copy of Karate Fight. That's right. That is what you get. Man, I gotta find Tentacle Bento. I know we're just hanging out. We're just we gotta wait for this. I'm waiting for that to dry, but most of these other minis are done. There's a little bit of highlighting there on her base and some stuff to do on her hair. That's Block Road. It's basically done. His base, why did he get the crappy just wood forest floor base? Not that it's a bad base, but like compared to everybody else's base, his base sucks. Like look at some of these other, his Tiger Ip's base also kind of sucks. It's just a rattan floor. His wasn't that cool. And then you got this. He has the best base. Guile has the best base because he's got the bullets. He's got that. Look at that cash money right there. So dope. And then you got, and then Bolo has like the basically broken ground beneath his feet. Like this, you can see cinder blocks there. You can see that metal I-beam. Pretty awesome. And then you have, and then this dude, please, somebody tell me the reference. I don't know who this guy is. They call him Train Wong, and I don't know who he is, but like, he's amazing. Like I'm playing Train Wong every time. Oh, speaking of which, Dizzy, pick your character. Who do you want to play when we play this? You want to play? You can play Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee. You could play Block Road, who's like a Billy Blanks type character, or Michael Jai White. I'm not sure. You can play Cynthia Rothrock. You can play, or you can play. You can't play him. I'm playing him. Just kidding. You can play him. You can play him because I'm going to play the thugs. You can play Bolo, like big strong dude. You can play Tiger Ip, or you can play Guile. So pick yours. I'm going to go look for Tentacle Bento, but we'll keep talking. That's actually really scary. What the hell? Where did my Tentacle Bento go? Did I stick it in the... No. Here's the other thing too. Like you get this cool like Tentacle Bento box. but I don't have anything in mine because I'm sad. Oh, I have some foil cards. Oh, cool. I just never opened them. Yeah. Oh, I just dropped my tentacle bento box. My what's cool is it's an actual bento box. Like you can probably just eat out of this. I wouldn't eat out of this particular one because it's been under my bed forever. So it looks like I got some Kung Fu Elvis. Kyle's base, money and bullets, Kazmurika. Yes. So these are really nice. So I guess these are the legendary. Oh wow. No, I should actually incorporate these in the deck because I don't have that, and there's a whole bunch of them in here. But I have like an aversion to like I don't want to crack it. It's so cool. I don't know. But yeah, where is my actual tentacle bento deck? I need to find it because it has the funniest damn cards in there. Oh shoot. I bet I know where it is. You need to know more about the game and the character stats. I don't know how much we'll know, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know how much will make sense. Okay. Where would I have stuck Tentacle Bento? I used to keep it in one of these bags. Here's the other problem. I have too many, way too many like bags. Just way too many things going on. Maybe I stuck it in here. Might make sense that I stuck Tentacle Bento in there. Oop. No Tentacle Bento? No. Anyone? No, it's not in there. I didn't stick it in here. Is my mic going haywire? Hopefully not. I don't think I stuck it in there. We would know. I mean, it's a pretty big thing to miss. No, did not stick Tentacle Bento in there. Super fun. I get old and they stay the same age. All right. I have the Canon Koli Takahashi miniatures. All right, thanks guys. I'm telling you, it's here. Just where did I stick it? Kind of worried because I really have fun playing this game and I gotta find it. There's no way I could have thrown it back in, is there? Whoa. Like now I'm in the miniatures bags. It's like, it's way too many. Oh, here it is. Okay. Cool. Okay. So I'll show you some tentacle bento cards because they're super fun. So the point the point of the game, like I said, oh wow, the rubber band snapped. These cards have been through it because lots of beer, some other stuff. I probably need to re-sleeve them. But the point of the game is you're trying to capture girls in sets of 3 or you need 3 components, in other words, to make a capture, right? So again, the premise is you're an alien dude, you get to a university and you're trying to capture girls. Okay, so you have a location. So in order to capture a girl, you have to have a location, you have to have you have to have a capture mechanic, and you have to have a girl, right? So usually have, and there's different types. So right, so this would be an example of a capture, right? You're going to capture Kiku. See, and the flavor texts are just, they're a little ridiculous. Her favorite animal is a cephalopod, and you're going to be in the gym, and you're going to use a pixelated protrusion. You look at, yeah, and the expression there says it all. The internet is for, oh God, is the flavor text there. But yeah, and so there are different types of girls too. There are cute girls, smart girls, and sexy girls, and sporty girls, right? And this is the gym is obviously a sporty location. This is a brainy type capture, a pixelated protrusion, and Kiku is a brainy girl. But because they don't all match, they're not all brainy. This is what you call a sloppy capture. If they did match, let's see, Breast Friends is also, this is, the girls really love this card, Breast Friends. I don't know, it's, they really love that. And so this was a cute capture. You're in the common room, and then and you make breast friends with someone. But anyway, if hopefully these cards are making you laugh, because, or maybe you're offended, I don't know. But like even the like the Takahashi miniatures, like Kiba-chan, she's in, she's a character in the game. But okay, so here Hanako, she kissed a girl and she liked it. So you can see how that all kind of plays together there. This is what you would call a noble capture, right? Because all three of the components are for the cute. They're from the cute style of girl. And so in a noble capture like that, you can actually, well, there's like no, this is only half the deck. Looks like we did not do a good job shuffling it. But you can do up to 3 girls on a single noble capture, right? So that's what makes, and it scores differently, right? So you got Sid here. She has met the legend. That's funny. That's a Ross reference for those of you guys who know who Ross Thompson is. That's actually pretty funny. Chubby nerdy girls like sweets are. But anyways, this is the game. The premise is a little ridiculous. It's a little on the nose, and it's kind of I'm half embarrassed explaining it to people. But when you start playing it, I promise you, it's fun. I promise you, this is a fun game. Wow, my hands are all jacked up. I got to cut my nails and all kinds of shit. But anyway, that's the game. And then the game is like punctuated with you have these events, right? So it's like a school year. So you play until the 4th event comes out, and then suddenly the game stops and you score. But every time an event comes out, it will jack you up, right? So like in this is the final exam. All players shuffle their hands into the school deck. Each player draws 7 new cards into their hand. Like it will totally, every time an event happens, everybody's pissed, because everybody was working on, some specific capture or some specific event, and then they lose it, in other words. But yeah, super fun game. Absolutely love this game. Highly recommend the game. And just understand, like, I thought this was a stupid game and a stupid premise, and I would never play it, or Karate Fight. So this is like the serious game. Like, again, it's the other thing I should point out too is these are not miniatures games, and I am like very loath to play a game that doesn't have miniatures. Like, oh, let's go play this board game. I'm like, really? Does it have minis? No. I'll just turn around and walk away. I'm just this is typically like, no, okay, never mind. I need to have these little three-dimensional representation of things running around, or I feel like my life isn't complete. Yeah. Do you pass your cards or just discard to get new ones? You are supposed to discard a card. There's like a cycling mechanic, if that's what you're asking. You draw a card or discard a card per turn. Dang, I'm gonna have to add these foil cards to it though. Oh, but I don't want to crack this open. It's so cool. And I definitely need to re-sleeve those cards. Like those things, like I said, we played Tentacle Bento, and I guess Darth Torlin isn't on here, but he knows, like we played this all the convention long because people wanted to play it all the time. And like I said, I would dare say more girls wanted to play the game than guys did because it's just super funny. Imagine how much fun you'd have painting minis for the game. Actually, Dave, there are minis for the game, and I paint them regularly. Like and in fact, Dizzy has on her channel she has a video on painting the candy and cola for the game. Cool. What else do I have in this box while we're down here? Sorry, we're just waiting for the thing to paint. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here's a couple. Here's a couple of them. Wow, this one. Ooh, she had a problem. She got a little busted. Some of these are busted there. I don't know. All right, you're out. Have a good night. Good night, Albert. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, she's kind of lopsided here. I'm not sure what happened. Did she just like pivot off her pin? But yeah, here's like one of the sporty girls, and you can see I was using them. I painted up a whole team of these girls for Guild Ball. They were like my I was calling them the Takawashi School of Engineering because I was using them as a proxy for an engineer team. Ooh, there she goes. But yeah, so you have minis like that. Here's a Marie Claude. So Marie Claude is she's like a cosplayer for she's a cosplayer, but she does a lot of work with Ninja Division, and she's represented in a few of their games. So this is the Takawashi University version of Marie Claude. So you got the little bikini top down there blown off, and then there's another miniature with like his nose bleeding, like the little nosebleed thing. But I was using her as pin vice for my engineer guild. And she also exists in Relic Knights. She's actually one of my favorite characters to play in Relic Knights. And yeah, Marie Claude Bourbonnais, she's fairly famous. And I got to hang out with her a few times when I worked the booth over at Ninja Division. And she's super cool. Like the first time I met her, I had that Survivor Marie Claude for SDE. I had a painted one, and apparently I was the only person at the time because it would like right after Forgotten King had fulfilled. I was like the only person who had a painted one, and she was just begging me like, please let me see a painted version of the miniature, and I sent her one, and she was super happy about it. But anyways, yeah, so that's like Marie Claude. We're just gonna show off a minute. I don't care. It's late at night. I don't care. We're just gonna. Oh, this one's busted. Oh, what a bummer. Yeah, I'll fix that at a later point. Oh well. There's like Relic Knight stuff in here that has seen better days. Let's see. Okay. Let me put these girls away for a sec. Oh, here's a really cool miniature that you won't see very often. So here's like one of the old soda cannon candy miniatures, which is just freaking awesome. It was a resin miniature, and they don't make this anymore. And super fun mini. Anyway, put that away. So you guys are, for those of you still hanging out, we're just gonna hang out. I hope that's okay. If not, you can always tune out. Oh, here's a Relic Knights miniature that I painted to be Saitama. for no reason. I was like, oh, that guy kind of reminds me of Saitama. So painted that. What's in this box? Oh yeah, here. Okay, here's what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so for the game Dragon Tides, right? Like I said, the Kickstarter did not deliver on the thugs that they were supposed to deliver on, right? Because you get the heroes, right? But we weren't getting any thugs. We were promised thug miniatures. Well, since we're not using any thugs, I'm just gonna put in thugs. Okay, so like these are miniatures from a game called Wild in the Streets that is produced locally here in San Diego. So about an hour and a half south of me. And it's the scale isn't 100% right, but you can tell like these guys make pretty good thugs, right? If you're just gonna have like regular henchmen thug guys, look at that. Like this girl has been in some arguments before. Anytime you're gonna come out and just in your underwear with a machete, somebody's gonna pay. Somebody really pissed her off. You got like goth girls like this one, just making out with a skull. I love this game. Wild in the Streets is super fun. And the cool thing about it is the designer Chris Kohler, he based a lot of the miniatures just off real people, like his friends and stuff like that. So you have goths and you have like what are they called? Crusties. You have skinheads. You have death metal chicks. You have they just came out with roller derby girls, and I should have backed it. I didn't have money. Maybe I'll just beg Chris to send me some. Like this guy Javier, he's a real guy. He looks like a real guy, right? Everybody knows. Javier. He's like, hey, you know me. I'm Javier. You know me. Like the so you got guys like that, and he actually showed me some of the photographs of the people that these are based off of. Like this is a real guy. This beer can guy just smashing the beer can up against his head. Like, tell me that these do not make cool looking thugs for Dragon Tides. They're gonna be perfect. We're just gonna be punching guys like that. Look at that. This one here. This girl, she's seen some things. Like, look at her hair. She hasn't. How long has it been since she's washed her hair? She's got. Yeah, like this game is freaking. We need to play it actually, Nelson. It's a pretty hilarious game. There's a crusty guy. Yeah, they're totally fitting, and they'd make good thugs. So we're gonna have thugs in the game. Look at her. You know what I mean? She didn't win. Best costume at the steampunk convention. She's like, what problem? What do you have? What's the matter with my outfit? Huh? Like she smoked. She smokes like 3 packs a day. Okay, give her a break, guys. Like, what do you have? What's the matter with my outfit? What are you trying to say? Tracy, I'm not beautiful. I tell you I'm beautiful. I don't care. I don't know. Yeah. I like this one too. She's flipping you the bird. Like these. I felt like these. He showed me the miniatures, and I instantly fell in love with this game. And I was like, wait a minute, what's the theme? And he's like, yeah, dude, like 1980s gang warfare, right? Skaters, skate punks, skinheads, goths, death metal people, like. And I was like, oh my god, why am I not playing this game? It's so good. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. That guy's badass. Like, I love this guy. Yeah, I did a little, like, she was like a Harley Quinn homage for me. She's like, I started painting her, and I'm like, oh, I'll do a little diamond there, like a Harley Quinn diamond for her with her broken bottle. I'll mess you up, suck. Well, okay, maybe she doesn't. Maybe her voice isn't quite as bad as the other ones. Like, right, like this one, clearly her voice is like 2 or 3 octaves lower than mine. This one here, like, what? She's like, I look great. I don't know. He's kind of breezy in the front. I don't understand. I look great. Like, I might be losing subscribers after this feed. I don't know. Like, anyway, so just random cool shit that you find in my room here, my gaming room. But yeah, we'll be using. Oh, what I was gonna say is, so I the first time I met Chris, we were talking about his game, and I'm like, dude, your game sounds freaking amazing. And he handed me this miniature, and he's like, an unpainted one, and he's like, here, dude, like, here, check it out. And so I painted this mini, and then posted it to his site, and he was like super pumped on it. You can actually go on the Facebook. There's a Wild in the Streets, the game, a Facebook group for it. And it's really awesome. Like, I painted a whole set of Wild in the Streets for him. He hired me to do it, and then he hired me like 2 or 3 times to just paint entire sets of Wild in the Streets. So, and this is the set. This is my set that I've kept. But it just ended up being super cool because the miniatures are super fun, as you can see. They have so much character to them, and the game itself is like he's described it perfectly. It's what it is it's the miniature game that you would bring with you to a tattoo parlor to teach people how to play miniatures games. Because as a miniatures game, it's not as heavy and intense as the miniature games we're used to. By the way, I want to show you these two because, like, this is my old Blood Bowl team, my Slan Blood Bowl team. Love them. Playing frogs, dude. I played frogs in Blood Bowl, and they don't even have frog teams anymore, and it makes me sad, and that's why I'm not playing Blood Bowl. Like, look, that was my lineman. Played frogs for Blood Bowl. Damn it. Anyway, like, look at this guy. It's a Slan catcher. Like, how do you not? Man. Anyway, it just makes me mad. Stupid GW. Anyway, so the Wild in the Streets game, it's like a party style miniatures game, which is crazy because miniatures games tend to be very intense. They tend to be really intricate games. Whereas Wild in the Streets is a lot more like it's a lot more beer and pretzel. And there's a lot of random stuff that happens in Wild in the Streets. Nelson, I've actually been thinking about bringing it into the group as a filler, Like when we're playing Batman and we already have the city sets built, right? And there's like maybe 3 of us and we only have an hour. Wild in the Streets is a perfect game for that because it's like, okay, there's like 3 people, you only have an hour. The lists are basically built for Wild in the Streets. The rules are really stupidly easy. And I usually teach people how to play Wild in the Streets. It takes me like 5 minutes to teach them because it's the easiest game. The one problem you may have is that as a miniatures gamer, you're expecting more rules. Like that's the problem you're going to have learning the game is like, wait, that's it? That's all we're doing? Like that's how you're going to react to that game. But super fun. Again, love Tentacle Bento, Karate Fight. They're all good games, man. Okay, I'm going to put this away. We'll paint a little bit, I guess. We'll try to put some finishing touches on these Dragon Tide minis. Just wondering who's still awake. I know lots of people are watching. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Ooh. But yeah, dude, I got all this just stuff in this room that just never sees the light of day, and it's kind of upsetting, right? Like I went through all the effort of painting all this stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, we're totally gonna play this. Like I have the opposite problem, I think, that most miniature gamers have, because most miniature gamers just buy and buy and buy, and they collect tons of shit. And I'm not saying that I don't do that, because I do, but I would say the bigger problem for me is that I have all this painted shit that I'll never play. I'll just never have the time to play it all, or I'll never really have the opportunity to play it all. And it's part of the reason why, why I wanted to try doing miniature gaming on Hangouts, specifically cooperative board gaming, because I love cooperative board games. They're super fun, especially if you have really cool miniatures for it. Obviously, SDE was like the main driving force there. But like I have like 2-3 cases of SDE. Irene wants me to teach. Yeah, teach her. We have the demo kit there. Go for it. They do need another staff now that Joanna's gone. They need another staff to pick up the slack. Yeah, you should totally do it. She keeps walking by and she's like, I want to learn how to play, but I'm like, just learn how to play. Not a big deal. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. But like I said, the demo kit is there in the storage. You just break it out. It's all the rules, everything are there. It's like totally self-inclusive. And you can teach her how to do that. Anyways, let us get going with, let's paint a little bit more of Bruce Lee. I think that glaze is dry enough. All I'm really doing is I want to do just a little bit of highlighting, because I actually kind of think it looks cool with a little bit of a stain there on it. So I'm going to do like a pale gray highlight on it. Right? It's almost like it was like stamped steel minis. Full House minis for a fistful of kung fu. Yeah, exactly, dude. I can run. So now I have way too many miniatures to not play Fistful of Kung Fu. And I'm like, I want to play that too. I don't know when we'll have time to do it, but we will sort of have time to play it. Okay. So I'm just going to do a little bit of edge highlighting. I think that's it, man. We don't really have to do anything else with these. I'm just going to seal them up. And then And then you guys we can try to schedule when we're going to do the playthrough of this game. So I just want to do, right, just going to do a little like softer. I want the edges of the yin yang thing to be lighter. I don't know what I'm going to paint next. I might paint something chibi, because it's been such a long time since I painted something chibi. Full House minis. Called dibs on Uncle Joey. Damn it! You get to be John Stamos? Damn it. No, you're Joe. Okay. Okay. No, Uncle Jesse is still open. So I could be John Stamos. I could be Uncle Jesse. Oh, man. Full House. I'm surprised like Impact or something like that hasn't done Full House. Oh, man. You know what else I need to find too? Or my actual proper Atomico Kung Fu minis. I was looking at them the other day. I'm like, those would also make good thugs for this game, and they'd also be perfect for Fistful Kung Fu. But they're more like traditional, like 1960s Kung Fu movies, which is also cool because then I could do the dubbed voices. Chinese boxing, eh? So, you and your boys think your karate or your kung fu is better than ours. And they would never say karate. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. I apologize. But yeah, I want to do the dubbed voices. We're playing that. Oi. Yeah, I gotta feather that in. Kind of feather that. Right? Looks too. You don't want the highlight to look too weird. So it's almost like a stamped overlay on this wooden floor. This base actually doesn't make much sense because it's like a wooden floor, but then there's like a, I don't know. Then you have this whole pattern thing that's like stamped over it. I don't understand it. But this is the main reason why I wanted the game. I specifically wanted a Bruce Lee miniature. I was like, I get to have a Bruce Lee miniature? Full disclosure, I'm considering buying another copy so that I can have this exact miniature, and I would do a head swap on it and make it Bruce Leroy. Oh my gosh. Then life is complete at that point. If I had, so I'd have a Bruce Lee and a Bruce Leroy miniature. Oh my God, that's it. That's too much power in one place. It would be too great. It would be too, I don't know. You know, any Saiyan with a power meter would freak out the minute I broke out those miniatures. So just a little highlighting there on the gutter. And then finally, let's do a little highlighting for the Cynthia Rothrock character. Chibi is life. I like that. Yeah, I think I may do it. I'll probably do a Ronin for Ninja All-Stars. It's my next painting project. Or I might do what's it called? I might do like an Anima Tactics miniature or something a little more obscure. I don't know. I am kind of in the mood to paint a chibi miniature though. So we'll see. Would Kappa count towards Orktober? I know Kappa is not an orc, but it's green and it's kind of a monster, like a turtle monster. So maybe, I don't know. No edge highlighting here for Miss Rothrock. Was Bruce Lee an X-Man? No, he was not. Bruce Lee was not an X-Man. I don't think so. Let's just do a little, we'll do a little bit of shading on Cynthia Rothrock's hair. Just to give it a little bit of depth. I guess her face isn't that bad. Let me, hold on. Let's adjust the focus here. Get her, let's go a little bit closer. Her face isn't that bad, I suppose. It's just kind of weird. Right? I guess she kind of looks normal now, sort of normal. This guy, Brandon's face is weird. I mean, it's not like end of the world weird, but it's a little weird. Just a little shade there on the badge. His face is a little bit weird. I wish they had the Crow version of him. Be way happier with that. And then who else do we have here? Oop. We have Block Road. He's kind of cool. And then finally, the man, the myth, who's awesome. Yep. Okay. So, well, and there's still a lot of people watching. You guys don't sleep much, do you? I need to get up and do the final prep for this birthday party for my boys tomorrow. It is a kids party, so gonna be lots of little children and stuff running around. Chibi Crow vinyl pop would be rad. I mean, if you guys want, if you're cool, we can maybe start to pick what the next miniature will be. I'll put these guys aside for now. There's still Emma Frost, who's, well, actually, let's have a look at Emma. Emma still needs some work. I'll show you where she's at. I never quite got her to a point that I really liked. but I mean, she's on, in my opinion, she's on track to being, ooh, so put that siren. She's on track to being where I want her. Like, she's looking pretty cool, but she's not quite there. Just a little bit of work left to do on her. Man, she should be in Dragon Tides. Look at that. She's got the Kung Fu pose. She could be one of them. If we don't want to use the Cynthia Rothrock mini, we can use hers. Okay, let's break out. Let's look at some potential things for me to paint. So, since you guys stayed up late with me and listened to me talk about tentacle bento and shit, I'll let you help me decide what I'll be painting. You're not painting that. That's not interesting. What's that? That's kind of interesting. Okay, so there's that. Ooh. Just way too much crap, you guys. Way too much crap. Okay. Oh. Big ol' heavy copy of Scythe. All right, here we go. Ain't got to worry much about Emma too much. She's Cyclops rebound hoe. That's factual. Okay. So some potential stuff for me to paint. We have, this is a Viper miniature for Relic Knights. It's a resin mini. Super fun. Yeah, Scythe, well, I don't, did the airship expansion come out? I don't know. Anyway, I painted one of these. I actually have a video of me painting one of these. They're super fun, really cool, kind of Ghost in the Shell type miniature, like the Major. I just kept one because they're fun. Or I could paint like classic old school Relic Knights. There's a Squall miniature. She's like a mage type sci-fi anime mage thing. Huh, look, everywhere I go, another copy of Karate Fight. Yeah, I just got Karate Fight coming out of my ears. Then I have a whole bunch of just Ronin, like all these Ninja All-Stars minis. Let's just look at them. Pretty cool. I think is that the Zatoichi mini? It's pretty awesome. And this guy like waving two giant paddles around. Gotta love Cat Fox guy. Oh, E Honda. Could paint an E Honda. Should also be fun. Then you got Hanzo. Super fun. Oh, here we go. Here's the Jubei miniature. Absolutely love that mini. And then we got more. There's just endless supply of chibi things. I might paint him just because that's amazing. Love that. Like, love that. Might paint that. I'm gonna get another like a cola miniature. Me. It can just kind of be a side miniature. This guy, he's like Storm Shadow. He's kind of cool with the dual wield. Get the Moon Princess. It's a fun miniature. This guy here, Binky. Yeah, the rooster with the sword, kind of awesome. These like, the Oni, the old lady with the old lady with like the Oni theater mask, freaking awesome. It's like this like Cousin It style. I know that's just like a spirit miniature. Look at that crazy mold line right there. And get most of that off of my fingernail. This guy just has an amazing hat. I really like him. Oh, here's my question. Does this guy count for Orktober, the Kappa? Yes, I know he's a turtle, but he's kind of awesome. I don't know. Kind of want to paint him. How did I get so many cool figs? I backed the Ninja All Stars Kickstarter, so I have like a billion. I have a billion figs. Here's the Zatoichi character, so Blind Samurai. We should actually with the number. Oh, here's Shoujo. Love Shoujo. Might have to paint Shoujo. Really might have to paint Shoujo. She's so much fun. Kitsune. I do the Kitsune. This is Kitsune candy, I think. Really cool. And and I think I already painted one of these, the Kunoichi candy. I think it counts. Japanese orcs are still orcs. I don't know. We'll get the official ruling from Dizzy. She can tell me if he counts or not, because I do. He is quite cool. Because if he counts, I'll paint him. I'll paint him, and I want to paint something else kind of amazing. Maybe Shoujo. I really like Shoujo. Should I paint? Okay, I want to paint one of the ladies. So either Shoujo, Moon Princess, or where'd she go? Or Kitsune Candy. I love those minis. You want to know why why this is my shitty excuse for why these miniatures aren't painted. I literally have no place to store them. Like, that's my problem. I have so many things, but I don't really have places to store the things. So, anywho, because I got those, and I even have like a bunch of generic clans that are sitting around that I probably should paint, but like, why? I already have. Oh man, I think we should just straight up play an RPG. Like, I have so much chibi stuff, we might as well. Might as well just play a full RPG. I don't know. We'll throw it around. So yeah, I'm leaning towards a chibi or two. This guy will paint super fast, so let's keep him out. And again, really, really interested in painting Shoujo. I think she's gonna stay. And these guys, unfortunately, they're gonna go back for a little bit. Oh, but I do kind of want to. Oh my god! Like, he's so cool. Okay, they can wait. They can wait. That time. We'll put all those guys back. All right. Storm Shadow. yeah, I kind of want to paint descriptions. Okay. All right. We'll keep it to these two for now. And we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'll have to, I don't know. I need another case or something. I don't want another case, but that's way too many minis. All right. Anywho, I do have to get up in about 6 or 7 hours, so I'm going to call it. I'm going to put my stuff away. Ugh. It's way too much stuff. Maybe you can do Rooster and Kitsune as a subscriber special. Maybe. Maybe I should just move over and just start doing more Ninja All-Star stuff. We had a little league going at one point. It was super fun. Okay, so with that, I do have to get up early tomorrow, guys, but I do appreciate everybody hanging out with me for the long haul here. It was kind of a longer stream, but we did finish the Dragon. Whoa, I better look at that. Something fell. We did finish the Dragon Tide minis, so pretty stoked on that. Yeah, it's gotta go. It's gotta go in like that. There we go. So yeah. Anyway, I do like that idea though, Cheddar Monkey. Maybe I will make that kind of an appreciation for people. You know, for subscribers. I want to try to hit 2K. I mean, we're close to it. That's like 60 more subscribers, which is kind of hard for me. Like I just trickle subscribers in, but you know, but I you know, eventually we will paint more of these. But yeah, Shoujo's awesome. I need to paint Shoujo. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a good night, guys. And we'll see you on the next one.